to a day in the kitchen. Today we're going to be making chocolate chip cookies. The first thing that you'll need is a good clean kitchen. Then you'll need to have all the pans, bowls, and equipment out and ready for use. For this recipe, we will be using a large bowl, a medium bowl, a mixer, and 2 cookie sheets. You'll also need to preheat your oven to 375 degrees before you start mixing. If you forget to do this step, you'll be waiting for a while to bake your cookies when you are finished mixing. Again, preheat your oven to 375 degrees. When you are making chocolate chip cookies, you need to make sure that you mix the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients separately. So to begin with, today we are going to start with the wet ingredients. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to place all of the wet ingredients into one large bowl. Okay, so we'll start with the margarine. You have 2 cubes of margarine. Okay, we'll put those in the bowl. Okay, and then we have 2 eggs. Okay, we'll take that and throw those in the trash. Okay, and then you need to add the vanilla. Just 1 teaspoon of vanilla is all you need. Add that in. Okay, then you add the sugar. I only had 1 3/4 cups, so I did the white sugar 3/4 cup, and then I had 3 1/4 cup cups, and I also needed 3/4 cup of brown sugar. So I put 3 1/4 cups equals 1 3/4 cup. Okay. And then we need to add 2 teaspoons of water. Just like that. Okay, now it's time to mix. The old-fashioned way of doing this is with a spoon. Observe. You need to mix this until it becomes creamy. With a spoon, it'll take about half an hour to 45 minutes. Not recommended. So what you need to do is you need to use a more modern day mixer like this one. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to do the mixing. It goes like this. Okay, it's not ready yet. Okay, still not ready. Still not ready. It's almost there. Almost. Okay, and now it's done. This is ready to be set aside, and then we need to go on to our dry ingredients.
Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet?
No, they're not done yet. Okay, now we need to put the dry ingredients. The dry ingredients, we have 2 3/4 cup flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, okay, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Once you have those dry ingredients in, you just mix them with a spoon until they are thoroughly mixed together. Probably about 20 turns should do it. Okay, so it looks pretty well mixed together. That's all it takes with the dry ingredients. Okay, and then you need to get your wet ingredients and your dry ingredients together. What you're going to do is you're going to mix the dry ingredients in with the wet ingredients, but only a little bit of the dry ingredients at a time. So you just put about a quarter of it in with the wet ingredients, and then you mix that in. Okay, so it looks like it's starting to stick to the wet ingredients. And we put another, about a quarter more, about half of that back in there. And right now what we're doing is we're making the dough, the cookie dough. Okay, that's pretty good. We'll put the rest in there. Now we're going to mix it all up until you don't see any more of the dry ingredients. It's going to make into a very lumpy our cookie dough right there. Okay, so are we done? And we're missing one very important ingredient. We're missing the chocolate chips. Okay, so now the most important ingredient, the chocolate chips. Just pour one whole bag in and just mix it in till it is completely evenly distributed throughout the dough. And that looks just about right. Okay, now that we're ready to separate the dough into individual cookies, what you do is you take about one full spoonful of cookie dough, put it into the palm of your hand, roll it around a little bit. It's really sticky. Now the problem is that sometimes it's really sticky like this, and the way to fix that is to put it in the refrigerator for about an hour. But if you're in a hurry and you need to get it done, then this will work just fine. Okay? Place the cookies in about 2 inches apart. You should be able to fit about 12 cookies on one cookie sheet, but that of course depends on the size of your cookie sheet. Again, what you should try to do is keep the balls of dough about the same size so that when your cookies are done, they're all pretty much the same size. You don't have one big huge one and one little tiny one. It also helps them to cook more evenly if they're all the same size. Okay, once you have everything on your pan like this, pretty much evenly separated, about 2 inches apart from each other, now you're ready to put these in the oven. Now be very careful, that oven is very, very hot. Okay, so place them in the oven, don't touch the metal, slide it right in, and we're going to leave that in there from 11 to 13 minutes. So we'll set the timer for 11 minutes, and then we will check on those in 11 minutes to see how brown they are. Okay, so we have a little bit of time to wait. We'll have cookies when it's done.
Are you done?
No, they're not done yet.
Oh.
Okay, looks like they're done. Let's take a look. Remember to be very careful when you're taking out the cookies. Now look at those cookies. See how they're not brown yet? They're still kind of white. We're going to put them in for 2 more minutes. There we go. I'll set the timer for 2 more minutes. Okay, it's been 2 minutes. Let's see how they look. Oh yeah, that is much better. See how brown they are? Okay, that's the way you want them to be. Alright, so we'll set these aside and then we will put our next set in and set the oven for 13 minutes because we had it 2 minutes the last time, now 13. Now remember, the pan is still very, very hot, so you need to use your protection. Okay, you need to use your gloves or a heating pad. Alright, and what you're going to do is you're going to scoop each of these cookies out, and then you're going to place them on a cooling rack so that they can cool off. If you try to eat them now, which is tempting to do so because they're very good, you'll burn your tongue and it will not be pretty. You won't be able to taste them anymore for the rest of the day. So please let them cool for about 10 minutes before you decide to start eating them. These are very nice cookies.
Why can't you leave them?
You don't want to leave them in the pan because they will burn. They're still cooking in the pan because the pan's still hot. So you need to take them out of the pan and cool them on the cooling rack so that they will stop cooking and they won't burn. Okay, now that is one good looking cookie.
Good.
Make sure you eat them quick because they don't last very long around here. Okay, we'll see you next time on A Day in the Kitchen. Bye.
Bye.